Hello, this is Richard Marquez. Welcome back to Chuy's Educational Corner. On the previous episode, I call them episode, segment, whatever. On my previous video, I was talking about focus. What are we going to do about building a class in school that has focus, that works on nothing but focus? So, kids have specials. They go to music. They go to these different kinds of things during the week. So one 30-minute segment. That's the other thing. For an hour, you're going to have fun trying to fill an hour with nothing but focus. But for one simple 30-minute segment, the kids should be able to go somewhere and have an environment where it requires nothing but focus. Yeah, remember Maria Montessori. All of her materials were all centered around focus and getting the student to think and create all these thought-provoking situations, but creating an environment of focus. I remember she had two little vials. They were really small, and the children had to pour the water from one vial into the other one, and the mouth of both vials was very small. So you had to be extremely careful that you poured that water in without spilling a drop. That was the task. Now you think about that. Think about having to do that and how much focus it requires. And that task probably only took 2-3 minutes. But what that was doing to the human brain, it was causing it to build those neural networks that create that issue of focus. You ever notice some kids can sit down and can do something with one toy for a long extended period of time? And then some kids can't. They'll go looking for another one. They'll look at that one, they'll deal with it, and then they go looking for something else. And then they go looking for something else. They haven't learned to focus. So you have to figure out something to get them to focus. And the same thing goes for high schoolers. They need the same kind of thing to get them to focus. So let's build that class. What kind of things do you know that could be used in the classroom to create focus? I have one. Puzzles. That's right. Puzzles. Just putting a puzzle, having the kids work on puzzles creates a tremendous amount of focus. But you can't have them do it as a group. No, because one kid will take it over and do all the work. The other kids will just sit there and look around and wonder. They each have to have their own puzzle. So that creates some things. And then manipulatives, things that have to be worked. You remember those rings that you used to have to manipulate in order to pull them apart? There used to be different ways that you could pull them apart and put them back together. Those kinds of things created a focus. Also created that whole issue of problem solving. Things like that will cause a kid to become curious and will also get them to focus. And you're not looking for an hour or 2 hours. Human beings can't focus that long. You're looking for focus in short segments. 3, 4, 5 minutes, 6 minutes. If you can get 6 minutes of nothing but focus, you've done an amazing job. And your brain will thank you for it. Your brain will appreciate what you've done for it because you've created that environment where the brain can focus. You've actually built neural networks that actually are of value to you. And you remember those things that you've done because you focused on those things and you built what were called a visual context of what you were doing. So what other kinds of things do you think we could use to focus? I know playing chess with another individual can cause you focus, but that depends on how fast the other individual moves. You notice in chess, they came up with a clock. So now you got to speed up your focus, but that doesn't, I mean, that's why a lot of people don't do very well in chess with a clock. because you don't have time to really get ingrained into it and focus into it. So we even sped up chess, and but chess will do it. It'll cause you to have to focus. So anything that is challenging that you can come up with that will create just the issue of focus, and it'll be absent of all the other things that you're trying to do, it'll pay dividends to you in the classroom. Because you take away those phones, you better build a curriculum, and you better build a curriculum that acts in segments, small chunks that the student can intake. Because you may think you have their attention. You don't have their attention. They may not have their phones, but they sure are thinking about them. And the minute you turn away, they're off somewhere. And you do it too. So pay close attention. But remember, schools, where the kids are, we have to be very cognizant of the things that are going on in our environment. Schools need to adjust and change. But sadly, there aren't a lot of more innovators in our schools, people who think about these things and make those adjustments. Come on, educators. You're intelligent people. You're capable of thinking about these things and building these things. I know your boss doesn't like it, or your boss may not have a great inkling to want to do it, but go ahead and do it. Try it. You may be surprised. Besides, you'll be a trendsetter. The whole world will think you're crazy when you do it, and then when it succeeds, everyone will be coming around going, man, that was a great idea. And before too long, they'll take credit for your idea, and you'll be sitting around going, what happened? First they wouldn't try it. Now they're running around telling everybody they did it. Focus. Build something to initiate that whole aspect of teaching your students how to focus.